So next I'm going to go over new hire reporting. There's actually a large misconception that new hire reporting is voluntary. This is actually a mandatory process that is done through the Employment Development Department, or EDD. Next slide. So all employers are required to report newly hired employees as well as rehired employees within 20 days of that first day of work, that start of work date. So we know what a new hire is. A new hire, that's going to be an employee that you hired, and within 20 days, you're going to report that employee to the Employment Development Department. If you have a rehire, that's going to be an employee that you've hired, they've been terminated from your company for at least 60 consecutive days, and then they've returned to your business. If you do have an employee that fits that criteria, make sure that you are also reporting that rehire to the Employment Development Department. If you are an employer that has seasonal employees, you could potentially report one individual employee multiple times throughout the year. So kind of keep that in consideration as well. In addition to new hires and rehires, independent contractors do also have to report it to the Employment Development Department. So that's going to be an employee that you file a Form 1099 for services provided. You pay that independent contractor, which could be an individual or a sole proprietorship, $600 or more. Or if you have even entered into a contract with an independent contractor for $600 or more, they would also need to be reported to the Employment Development Department. Next slide. So the information that you report, it's beneficial to the child support program. This information that you report to the Employment Development Department, it is matched against child support records to help locate parents, as well as establish orders for support, and provides up-to-date earnings records. Because you also report your quarterly wage reporting, this information is also very helpful for the child support agency. Next slide. So I wanted to share with you the example right here. This is the form DE34. This is the form that you will use to report your new hires as well as rehires. There is an additional form that you will use for reporting your independent contractors, and that will be form DE542. So when you're reporting your new hires, rehires, as well as independent contractors, I wanted to highlight some pieces of information that are very important to report accurately and consistently each time you report this piece of information. Okay, click. So the California Employer Account Number, this is provided to you by the Employment Development Department. This is very helpful to report. If you need, on the next slide I have the taxpayer assistance line, but if you have any questions, you can contact the taxpayer assistance line and they will help you through reporting this form. The next piece of information is going to be your federal employer identification number. This is provided to your company from the IRS. So if you need this number, please reach out to the IRS to obtain that, but make sure that you're reporting all digits of this number each time. The next piece of information is on here it states business name, but specifically your legal business name. All characters of your legal business name. So for example, if it's AB Incorporated, make sure you report AB Incorporated consistently each time with your new hire reporting. In addition to that, a contact person, phone number, as well as an address for your company. The next piece of information that's very important is information on your employee. So your employee's first name, middle initial, last name, their full social security number, their address, and their start of work date. If you're utilizing the DE34, you can report up to 6 employees per form. But this, like I said earlier, this information is used to help locate parents and establish orders, but this information is also used to communicate with your company. So we want to make sure that we're communicating with the correct legal employer for this employee, and we want to help prevent any duplicate information from being sent to your company. Next slide. So there are several ways to report your new hire information. The fastest and most efficient way is going to be to utilize eServices for Business at the web address provided here, but you can also report utilizing send it by mail to the Employment Development Department, to the Document Management Group, or by fax. And I would like everybody to make a note of this taxpayer assistance number. It's 888-745-3886. This is through the Employment Development Department. If you need assistance with reporting your new hires, rehires, or independent contractors, the individuals at the Taxpayer Assistance Center will be able to assist you. Next slide. So I mentioned e-services for business earlier. I want to share with you some additional benefits. I know each of us are, we're attending this virtual forum in a virtual space, and I want to provide you with a resource to help you report your new hires, rehires, as well as independent contractors electronically. So when you register for e-services for business, there are some additional benefits to you as the employer. You can manage your payroll tax account, as well as register as an employer, file reports, you can make address changes. And one additional feature on here, you can also see any notifications that have been sent to you. That would be sent in the mail. You'll be able to see a PDF of any of those letters that are sent to your company as well. And then at the bottom of the slide, there is a web address for different tutorials on how to use the different functions within eServices for Business to assist you. Next slide. And I also want to provide each of you with my contact information, angela.jones@dcss.ca.gov. If you have any questions following this virtual forum, please do not hesitate to reach out. So thank you, and I will turn it over to Tyler.